We created a diagram we call Engaging with Society, which is an attempt to give a visual illustration of how Alpha and the marriage and parenting courses have been used at our church called HTB in central London to draw people in from the community around us. First, Alpha. The Alpha course has brought many people to faith and subsequently to joining the church.
Equally, there have been people who've been coming to church for many years who decide to do Alpha, usually because they've heard people telling their personal story of how doing the course changed their life. And on Alpha, their faith comes alive. Hence the arrow going in both directions.
We've also been running the pre-marriage course 3 times a year at HTB. It started as a course to prepare the couples who were getting married in our church. But then they started to recommend the course to their friends, many of whom weren't churchgoers. They loved it and told others. So we were getting up to 160 couples on each course, and of them, up to a half were not churchgoers. Many of them wouldn't have been interested in doing Alpha initially, but they were interested in preparing for marriage. This was their felt need.
And on the course, we talk about how we all come into marriage with huge differences to each other. Differences of background, different personalities, different preferences, and so on. And that's fine. We can build a strong marriage with all our differences. And one of the benefits of the course is that couples discover more of their differences. But we do need to be aligned on our core beliefs and values in order to move forwards together in the same direction as a couple. We tell them if that's something they want to explore further, there's another course we run here. It's called Alpha. And we say it'll be a benefit to you in preparing for marriage. And some couples go on to do Alpha. Or it's the other way around. They do Alpha, come to faith, and then want to explore marriage with their partner.
Some of the non-Christian couples don't do Alpha straight away, but their view of the church has changed through doing the pre-marriage course. They've experienced the church helping them in a very practical way, and they start to come to a Sunday service, for example, to see more of what the church has to offer. And that's where they hear people telling of their story of what happened to them on Alpha. And in time, they want to do Alpha themselves.
And at the end of the pre-marriage course, we recommend the couples do the marriage course 2 years or so into their marriage. And they come back because they enjoyed the pre-marriage course.
Many of the couples who come on the marriage course are not churchgoers. And on the course, we talk about the difference our own Christian faith makes in our marriage. And we say, if you'd like to explore that further, there's another course we run. It's called Alpha. And some come from the marriage course to Alpha, or the other way round. Or they may start coming to church on a Sunday.
We've also been running 2 parenting courses, the Parenting Children course for parents with children aged 0 to 10, and the Parenting Teenagers course for parents with children aged 11 to 18, which again have drawn in many parents who are not churchgoers.
We welcome all parents, whether they're parenting as a couple or on their own. But amongst all the practical ideas and tools, we have 2 very important messages on these parenting courses. The first is that if you are parenting as a couple, the most important thing you can do for your children is to invest in your marriage. A strong, loving marriage is what gives children great security and is the best role model for them to build healthy relationships. As a result of this first message, many couples go from doing one of the parenting courses to doing the marriage course if they haven't already done it.
The second important message in the parenting courses is that as parents, we pass on our beliefs and values to our children. We may do so consciously or we may do so unconsciously, but children are like sponges. They pick up our beliefs and values from their youngest years. They take in the choices we make and what we most value. That's why it's so important as parents that we think through what beliefs and values we want to pass on. We say, if you haven't really thought about that, there's another course we run. It's called Alpha. And people come from the parenting courses to Alpha or the other way round.
So you can see how people go from one course to another in all different directions. We describe this diagram as being like a whirlpool, just as a whirlpool picks up things like sticks and branches of trees from the edge and gradually draws them into the centre. So these courses draw people in and move them closer to the centre. And at the centre is Jesus. These courses work together to bring people close to him.